Over-explaining is a trauma response. If you're an over-explainer, I want you to know that that's a stress response. You know, and most of the time you might think over-explaining is going to help you, but no. Explaining actually builds anxiety to you and to the person you're over-explaining to, more than even helping you. Over-explaining doesn't help you in any way. You see, we always over-explain because we are afraid the person you're over-explaining to might either be mad at us or upset, or they might misunderstand us. You know, so even something that you don't need to over-explain, something that needs clear communication, to you, you feel you have to over-explain. You know, every time you feel like you have to apologize, even when you don't need to apologize, you feel like you have to apologize and prove that you're actually on the right, or to prove that you're actually a good person. You know, like anytime you're in an argument or a discussion, to you it's not about it's not about finding a way forward. To you, it's about either coming out as the right as the right person, or coming out as the good person. You don't want to look at the other side. You find yourself giving too much details on things that don't even need details. Like, let's say you're supposed to meet up with someone and then something comes up and you can't meet up with them. Now you have to give details that, hey, you know what, something has come up, something like this and this and this and this, or you know, I have to do this. If I don't do this, or this will happen. So now, you know, let me deal with this, then after this is when I'll come. Why all those details? Bro, if something has come up, just be clear and say something has come up. You know, even justification. You justify everything. Like, everything for you, whatever happens, when you're talking to someone, you have to justify it, even if it is something that you don't need to justify. It might be something maybe you said, maybe it might be how you're feeling. Instead of just saying how you're feeling, you have to justify how you're feeling. Yani, basically, even when you feel like you need to stop talking, you can't. You just feel like you need to over-explain, even when you know right now you need to fucking shut up. Imagine you can't. You go on over-explaining. That is a stress response. Over-explaining is a stress response. It's because you are afraid. You are afraid that the person you are talking to might either misunderstand you, or they might be upset with you. If they don't understand you, they'll be upset with you. And the traumatic experiences that might cause this might actually be, you grew up in an environment whereby the communication was passive aggressive. You know, like you do something bad based on the family, and instead of the family addressing it, instead of your guardians, your parents addressing it, what do? They pull that passive aggressive communication. They pull that silent treatment. You know, so for you, you feel like maybe they haven't understood you. That's why they are pulling that silent treatment. That's why they are that upset. Another reason is you got bullied a lot. Now, for you, you don't see the side that these people are bullying. You don't see that side that these people are bullying you. To you, you are looking at them as they have misunderstood you. So now you have to over-explain so that they don't bully you. You don't see that they're bullying you. You're seeing that they have misunderstood you. That's why they're upset with you. So basically, you're the person who's on the wrong. That's why the over-explanation. Another one is you grew up in an environment whereby emotions were considered weakness. So anytime you'd bring up anything emotional, then you'd either be ignored or being shamed. And we see that mainly, mostly in men. You know, like men right now, it's not their masculine because it's intuition based, but it's ego based. You're masculine because you are told, hey, you know what, you're not supposed to be vulnerable. Can you imagine you as a man, when you're seen as vulnerable, you want to justify that, you want to over explain why you are vulnerable? Can you imagine that? And then you are seeing it as, you know, you are helping yourself. No, you are creating more anxiety for yourself and even for the people around you. Why would you over explain or justify that you're masculine? I mean, you're a man. That thing should come naturally, you get. But basically, that's just an example I'm giving. But if you, both the man and the woman, if you grew up in an environment that doesn't support emotional response, then you are shamed. anytime you bring up that anytime you became emotional, you were shamed or it was ignored. Even at to a point whereby if you show any emotional response, if you show any vulnerability, you'll either be told, hey, you're too sensitive. Maybe you're just trying to express yourself at that moment, in your vulnerable moment. You'll be told, hey, you're too sensitive, or you're now just being dramatic. So now you have to explain your own emotions. Like, you are now justifying, you are invalidating your own emotions so that you can justify, so that you don't piss off these people. You want to justify your emotional response so that these people are not upset with you, so that these people don't misunderstand you, so that they see you as a good person, that you're on the right. Imagine that. Another reason might be, maybe you were not believed. Anytime you'd come and say something, they would always second guess you. They will have to confirm with someone else. Anytime you say something. Now, for this, maybe at Ile, you'd be termed as a liar. Like, oh, you're just a liar. You're just lying, even if you are right. So you grow up in an environment whereby, even when you're saying the right thing, you've been made to feel like you are a liar. So you have to over-explain to these people that, hey, you know what? This might sound like a lie, but it is not a lie. You have to understand, oh, this and this and this. Now you're over-explaining yourself over something that is basically valid. So my people, you need to heal. Heal so that you can understand communication is not about justifying whether you're a good person or you're on the or a bad person, or you're on the right or on the wrong. Communication has to be direct, clear and direct. If you're to meet with someone, as I had said it earlier, if you're to meet with someone, you do, and then something comes up, you don't need to over-explain about that thing that has come up. It can be just clear and direct. Hey, something has come up. Then can we postpone our meeting? Can we do this another time? Or once I'm done with whatever I'm doing, I will talk to you. Now, if you'll still be available, we can link up. Now you don't need to over-explain at, hey, this and this has happened. This, no. Clear and direct communication. My people, heal. Communication is not about justifying yourself to people. Communication is not about caring about how other people are going to feel about your feelings. Communication is about you expressing yourself how you feel, no matter whether it's sensitive to them, whether it's dramatic to them, whether they don't believe you or not. For as long as you know what you are saying, for as long as you are true to yourself, you are direct and clear. You don't need to over-explain to anyone. My people, you owe no one anything but yourself. It is you. So the more you're over-explaining, the more you're creating anxiety to yourself, the more it becomes very difficult for you to create boundaries. Because if you're not clear with your communication, then every time you just have to compromise your own feelings because you don't want to hurt these people. Every time when you're with people, you have to be walking on eggshells because you don't want to compromise. You don't want them to be upset. You don't want them to misunderstand you. But there's nothing wrong with being misunderstood. Those who understand you, they understand you. Those who don't, they don't. It's as simple as that. You don't have that entitlement that everyone has to understand you. No, bro, no one has to understand you. That's up to you. So if you feel like people have to understand you, then that's a traumatic response. My people, heal. Heal.